Yeah, today we're gonna discuss about career candidate profile template. It is nothing but when a candidate is creating an account in the recruiting, there are three different sites. How a employee can apply to a job. Either he can apply to a external job portal uh, or internal uh, career site. uh, he can apply from an external job portal or an internal career site. In the external job portal, there are two ways. One is he can directly fill the like all the fields and apply to the job, or else he can just integrate the LinkedIn, like using the LinkedIn. Uh, there is an integration with the LinkedIn, so they can also use apply to the particular job using that LinkedIn profile. So that is one way when we are applying through the external job portal site. So usually every candidate while coming to a new job portal site, either internal or an external, there are few fields which we have to capture to create an account for an employee. For applying for a job, we have to enter few fields. So all these fields will be captured in the candidate profile template. It's nothing but candidate profile template. Mm, this is the candidate profile template, and it has a external job. Usually, this candidate profile we configure it for external job portal and internal job career site. Um, External career site and internal career site, and external career site can also be integrated with the LinkedIn. So coming to the career profile, firstly we have to go to the. I will show you where are the different ways to go to this career profile template. Let me proxy into, forgot her name. Uh, what is the recruiting? Do you guys remember that recruiting person which I used to? Tessa Walker. Yeah. Mm, Coming to recruiting back again. So if you go to the uh, not to show you the career portal site. We are not able to access this one. So let me go to the career site. Just searching for opportunity and my candidate profile. Yeah, this is the candidate profile or a career. We called it as a CPT career candidate profile template. By using that candidate profile template, we define this particular fields, and these fields are used to create a profile. And by using this profile, we can apply for the internal careers. Like if there are any HR positions available, so I can just apply from the internal career site. I think you guys already know the internal career site and external career site. So in the same way, there is an external career site that which we can configure. Mm, so this one is a candidate profile for the internal career site, and this is the internal career job portal. Okay, here is the place where we all the internal employees come here and search for the jobs if any relevant jobs are there for them. But coming to the external career site, mm, manage recruiting site. If you go to the manage recruiting site, here there will be all the internal sites, default sites, and test career sites. So this one is the default external career portal. Usually there will be a default site and there will be minor site are also called as microsites. Usually, some companies what they do is for interns they will create a new job site and they will give a different link. In that particular site, only the intern positions will be shown, and for the new recruitees from the college grads, there will be a different career portal, and they will only the college grad recent grad jobs are only posted in that site. So they can maintain like not only one external portal, they can maintain like three or four different portals, and one would be the default and other one will be the microsites. They call it as microsites. So usually this one is the default site. So here I have one URL. This site URL is mentioned here. So if I go there and open this particular site, let me open the browsing in the meantime. So this is how the external career site looks like. It's we didn't customize anything, but you can customize each and every part of the external career site. So this is how the external career site looks like. But here, every time when you are coming and applying, like if you want to apply for a particular company, like three or four different jobs, you don't have to fill all the details like three or four times. You can just create one account in that particular site there, and every time when you log in with the your username and password, all your details are already ready, and you can just enter you can just log into that site and apply for the job which you think it is relevant to you. So here you can also create your own account. So these are all the details that you have to enter while creating an account for an external job site. This is the career candidate profile template for the external job site. So these are the two different things which we configure in the career candidate profile template. Okay, for the candidate profile for the external job site and the internal career site. Okay, the I will show you where we have to edit all these candidate profile template. After going to the recruiting, just search for the recruiting in the manage recruiting part. If you check for the candidate profile template, edit candidate profile template, this is the place where we edit, modify, add on the candidate profile template. So usually this candidate profile template is a little bit different than the other templates. The reason is that there would be only one candidate profile template for one recruiting module. That means for one client instance, there would be only one candidate profile template. Okay, there won't be like two or three different templates as a we see it for a JRDM or a PMGM or a compensation. There can be n number of templates, but for candidate profile template, there would be only one. And it's not like a XML file upload or download. It's like a copy paste thing. Like if you want to change the something here, just copy all the text and paste it in a Word file or an sorry, excuse me, or an XML file. Cancel. Let me So I just opened a new file and let me delete all these and paste the file which I paste all those things which I copied from the provisioning account. So this is the candidate profile data model. So once I copied here, I will make all the changes which I require, and again I will copy it from here and paste it there. So that is how we have to modify the candidate profile template. There is no way that we can download it and upload it. It's just a copy paste thing. You have to copy it to somewhere and edit all the changes which you want, and again paste it back here. And it's better to maintain your own versions. Usually in the success factors, you have to maintain all the XML versions on your own. Like when you're making some change, then keep the XML like version 1, V1, V2, V3, so you won't get lost the previous versions. So this is how the candidate profile data model looks like. Uh, there are few extra things involved in this one. I will go step by step. First one is the template name. Template name is nothing but the candidate profile template name. It's called it as a next gen candidate profile template. And next gen is nothing but next generation. They refer to next gen, and you can rename it as whatever you want. And these are all the different translations. So similarly, there is a description. This is the standard next generation candidate profile template. And the next one is the instruction header. Instruction header is nothing but I will show you where this particular one looks like. Dear candidate, thank you for your expressing your interest. Okay, it should be somewhere in the internal site or an external site. Let me check the career. Yeah, this one is the text, instruction text. Dear candidate, thank you for your expressing your interest. We would like to know more about you. All these things are captured in the instruction text. Okay, instruction header. So if you see the text, this is the same text which is there, and these are the different types of uh, translations which they use, different types of languages for translations. Okay, and coming to the field definitions are nothing but which we use, uh, which I showed you before in the JRDM. The same similar type of fields will be there, like the text area, pick list, derived, attachments, multi attachments, rich text, all these fields. I think I discussed about all these different types of fields in JRDM, and required is nothing but whether that field is required or not. To compare these things, I will show it in the UI also here. Um, where all these things are. Previous employment, formal education. Yeah, if you see the attachment and what attachment one and attachment two, these two are attachment one and attachment twos, and title, country, phone number. Actually, yeah, I got it. The first name, last name, and all these things they are map. I will show you that mapping, but I think you guys are aware of all these different types of fields and required, whether it is a customized or not, and the field label and the field description. These are all the similar things which we defined in the JRDM and in the previous XML files. Do you guys have any doubts regarding these field definitions? Okay, and we can also edit them through the UI too. I will show you once. I'll just show you a glance how it looks like in a UI. This is the admin center. Let me go to the. Sorry, I'm going to the recruiting because performance and goal management, because recruiting options are too many. So this is the only. If you go to the recruiting tab in the manage templates, let me go back. I will show you. So if you go to the recruiting, you can see the job requisition, job application, candidate profile, and offer details. So these are the different four types of XMLs or templates present in recruiting management. So before we discussed about the job requisition, how to configure the job requisition template. Right now we are discussing about the candidate profile template. So here there should be only one template. Uh, this is the place where we configure all the different types of fields and field definitions, and the same thing like the JRDM. You can add the standard fields from here, and you can define the permissions, everything from here. So if you see, this is the template name, description, last modified date will be system will handle these things. Instruction header is nothing but which I showed you before, and this is for the internal candidates and this is for the external candidates. Okay, there are two different types of external headers. Usually let me also copy it uh, for internal headers, internal candidates and external candidates. Okay, operator instruction header, instruction footer. I will go through more details regarding the footers and headers. Let me go to the fields first. So these are the this is the where we add the standard fields and custom fields. Okay, the first name, middle name, last name, same like before. The required, whether it is required or not, and these are all the add a standard field. A standard field is, let me check. Here is the standard field which I added. So many fields. Yeah, this is the standard field, and these are the different types of options which you can add through the standard field. If you want to add if a particular scenario fits in your case, you can add from the standard fields, or you can customize from the beginning if you want. It depends on the configuration which you are doing. But in the XML, you have to do it from the field definitions. Okay. And before going through the background elements and SM mapping and search display options config, I want to show you one particular screenshot or a mapping how it's done. So in the recruiting, the career profile template or for a candidate profile template is mapped to succession data model or employee profile. Okay, employee profile is nothing but, or succession data model is nothing but which holds the employee data in success factors. Okay, if employee central is not in place, if your let's say your customer is using um, only the talent modules, then we use the employee profile. Hello. So usually in the candidate profile template, we have some standard fields like the first name, last name, and most standard fields of an employee. We will capture them in the recruiting. Okay, we will capture those fields in the recruiting, And if a employee or a candidate created his candidate profile template, all these fields will be captured, and there will be a sync between the succession data model and the candidate profile template. Succession data model and the candidate profile template. So, we have to map some standard fields and also the background fields with the candidate profile template, with the succession data model, and also the only the standard fields with the application candidate application data model. CDM is nothing but candidate application data model. While creating an application, he has to enter some fields like the first name, last name, um, date of birth, or something. So all these fields, standard fields, will be mapped to candidate profile template and candidate application template. And with the succession data model or employee profile, the standard fields and also the background fields will also be mapped. Okay, this there will be a mapping between these three templates. Okay, am I clear or you are having any doubts on this? Okay, let me show you how that sync happens and where we configure. Usually in the field definition, we will configure the standard fields. Okay, standard elements. Mm, Bindu, example for what? Actually, let me show you the difference between these three different data models. Candidate application data model is while we are applying for a job, while we are applying for a job, we have to input some fields like what is your first name, what is your last name, what is your desired salary, and are you willing to relocate to a particular position, a particular location or not, and what is your previous experience. Are you having work status or not? All these are different types of questions or fields you have to enter it in the candidate application data model. CDM is nothing but candidate application data model. So candidate profile template is nothing but when you are creating a account, when you are creating an account in a career profile, external career site or an internal career site, you have to create your account using some fields, your basic information like what is your first name, last name, date of birth. It's like a account for you in your career site. Like if you want to if you want to apply for a Facebook, you have to have a Facebook account. If you want to apply for Google, you have to at least have a Gmail account. So using that your details from the Gmail account and Facebook account, that particular you can apply directly to that job. You don't have to enter the your first name, last name, your email address again back again. So once you log into your Gmail account, and you can directly apply to any Google job. So that is how they configured their system. Here, what we are trying is whenever, let's say Bindu wants to apply for 10 or 20 jobs uh, in Lenovo company or in SAP company, she wants to apply for 10 or 20 jobs, and not only one time. Like every month, he goes and visits a SAP site, and if any job looks familiar to her, she just go and apply, right? So she don't want to she don't want to enter all the details like his first name, last name, all like every time when he applies for a job. What she can do is go there and create his profile there in the job career site, and using that profile she can apply as many jobs as she can, and she can update whenever she wants that profile. So that is a career profile, or we usually use career profile template to configure all the fields that should be shown, that should be captured while creating a career profile. Okay, in the career profile, there will be two different types of fields. One is standard fields and one is background fields. We have to define all those two different fields, and we have to map the standard fields with candidate application data model and also succession data model. Succession data model is nothing but which holds the data in success factors. Like all the employees data will be held by succession data models. Like what are the different fields that an employee should have in the success factor system. So all these fields will be captured by succession data model. So for creating a sync, let's say if I have a candidate profile in a career site and apply to a job, and I got a job, and I got selected for the job, and I got onboarded into the system, success factor system. So again, there will be a sync, right? So there is no need to again enter all those data and get it from a for first thing. Because of this sync, all the data will be captured in the succession data model, and it's readily available when I onboarded into the system. In the same way, like let's say if I have a candidate profile and I'm filling a job application for a particular job. So again, I don't have to enter all the fields, right? All the fields which I gave in the candidate profile will be synced with the candidate application. So as soon as I creating an application, all those data will be automatically captured from the candidate profile. No need to enter one more time. So we have to give that sync, like which particular field has to be synced with which particular field in the candidate application. So after we synced the both the two different thing, both the templates, then the system will take care of syncing the data, populating the data automatically from career profile to candidate application. Do you guys understand what I'm saying or having any doubts? Okay. So these two different mappings, we have to do it using the XML. So these are the standard fields. In the diagram, if you see, there are two different types of fields: standard fields and background fields. Standard fields are defined in the field definitions, and they are like a first name, a middle name, last name. These are all the standard elements or fields. But there are also called as background elements. Usually, these background elements are not very basic information, but they are used to fill an application. It's better to capture all these things, like what is the experience do you have, if you are inside internal employee, what is the inside work experience, or if you are also an internal employee, before you might be working in some other company, right? So what is your outside work experience, and what is your education details, and how many languages can you speak, and what are the different certifications do you have. If you related to a particular talent group, like in the company, there will be different talent groups, talent pools, like nothing but it will comes in succession or career development succession management. But talent pools are nothing but if you are related to IT, and if you know the Java language or coding, you will be related to Java pool. And if you are a .NET person, you will be related to that particular pool. And if you are related to ABAP, you will be related to that pool. So they will classify depending on their requirement. So this is for pools. This is one example. So these all fields will be captured in the background elements. So all these background elements and standard fields will be mapped to different to candidate sorry a candidate application template, candidate application data model, and succession data model using this mapping. Usually we map using succession mapping here. Uh, SM is nothing but succession model and mapping. All the fields which you see here, like the candidate profile to this particular mapping, you see these two lines. are mapped here. Like you see, inside work experience is a background element. First name and last name, uh, first name and last name are standard elements. Education is a background element. Contact email is a standard element. Current title is a standard element. Language is a background element. So these two different elements are mapped to succession data model in this SM mapping section. Okay, are you clear up to here? Where does it say that it is a background element? You see here, there is a background element section. Usually in the field definitions, we define all the here in the field definition, we define all the standard elements. All the standard elements are defined in the field definition. Standard, it's standard elements, not standard fields. But in the standard element section, we can create elements using standard. Don't confuse here. This is the standard element section. So here there are two types of fields. One is standard fields and custom fields. Okay, that is different part. And these are all the standard elements. And here these are background elements. These fields are called as background element fields. Okay, these are not very related to employee details, but these are more relevant to his job experience or previous experience. uh, all these things like inside work experience, outside work experience, what is his education qualifications, language, did he have any certifications or not, and what languages did a employee this particular person know, and which talent group this particular employee relates to. All these are captured in background element section. So usually these two different background elements and standard elements are mapped to succession data model by using this mapping section, SM mapping section. It's nothing but this field ID, employee field ID. If you see in the standard field section here, this is the employee field ID. So this particular field ID, what's this particular name, field name? Field name is nothing but EC employee ID. So this EC employee ID is mapped to, uh, just give me a second. Let me minimize this. This employee field ID is mapped to EMP ID in succession data model. This EMP ID will be there in succession data model. Let me show you to reduce the. Mm, go back to here. Mm, so if I go to import export country specific, no, import data model, import file, no, export the file, submit. If you remember from the previous Employee Central class, I said regarding the succession data model and corporate data model. Succession data model is the data model which we define all the fields for the employees. Like all the employee information is captured in succession data model. Like what is the first name, last name, who is the what is his salary, date of birth, marital status, whether he is married or not, male or female. All these employee details are captured in succession data model. All the company details, like what is the location of a company, business unit, all these things, division, departments, all these things are captured in the corporate data model. So since employee, this is recruiting is related to a candidate, we map the candidate data model to succession data model, which is nothing but an employee details. Okay, let me open the succession data model. This is the downloads. This is the data model which I downloaded. Let's give it a second. So most of the things are oh my god, open. If you go to the standard elements, there are 137 standard elements, and if you go, there will be somewhere EMP ID. If you see here, this is the EMP ID here. So what is the label of this one? So employee ID. So this particular employee ID field in the succession data model is mapped to the employee ID in career profile, career profile template. And this particular middle name is mapped to MI. MI is nothing but a middle name. It would be a middle name in succession data model. Middle name ID, field ID in succession data model. If you go here, if you see here, first name and middle name ID is MI. We have to map the ID, not the labels. Remember, every time we have to map the IDs, not the labels. So in the same way, languages are mapped to languages, last name is mapped to last name. In the same way, contact email is mapped to the email, current title is mapped to title, like the first name is mapped to first name. So if you see in the source, this is how the field mapping looks like. It's like just SM mapping, field ID. Field ID is nothing but ID in the present career profile template, ID in this particular template, and map to this ID is related to succession data model ID. And you have to exactly copy and paste the IDs because it's not a label, it's just an ID. It's an unique identifier and it's case sensitive too. So this is how we map the succession data model to career profile template. This mapping is done there in this particular section. Any doubts regarding this? So if you got any issues that if yes, some particular candidate has a candidate profile, created a candidate profile, and whenever he is creating, he is applying for a jobs, he's not all these particular information is not populating. Like let's say the first name, last name, and all his details are not populating. Then you have to come here and check the mapping whether all the fields are mapped in the right way or not. Sometimes the IDs might be different. Some people may overlook the ID and they might be different IDs mapped. So you have to check these things. I'm not sure whether you have the UI also. They might also came up with the UI. Let me check. But when I used to work in the, these are all the, yeah, field permissions, candidate search display, field permissions, field permissions define. Yeah, six, nine. These are the 9 mappings here. And it's nothing but succession standard element and here standard element, succession background element, and the background element mappings. You can see here in the XML there is no differentiation between standard elements and background elements mapping, but here they gave the standard and background elements differentiation. Okay, I think here not the IDs, they are showing the label names here. Here they are showing the label names, but in the XML you have to map the IDs, not the label names. Here the label name is language skills. I think it should be a language here. I didn't see a language here. I don't Formal education, there is not even an education too. Yep, I think they didn't create these fields or they're not active. Okay, this is the way where we do the mappings for the succession data model and career profile template. Okay, and coming to the search display options config, it's nothing but actually for the talent pools we have nothing but candidate data. We will be having one methodology called tags. It is nothing but for every employee they can give some tags like uh, what's a like he is a salesperson. If we give a sales tag, we can search this particular employee. If we search the talent pool sales, all the candidates which are related to sales department or some marketing department can be just will be displayed in the search options. In the UI, if you go to the UI, let me go to there. This is the career profile. If you go to the recruiting, there is a if you see the candidates here, usually I didn't have the access because I didn't enable the candidate pool talent pools. But here if you see the candidates, if I click there, I can see different types of pools there. I think I can see it in succession. Let me check. Talent pools. Yeah, here there are different types of talent pools like executive management. These are more related to succession, but the recruiting talent pools also mostly will be like this, like talent search, sales search, percent of everyone. So operations. Yeah, this is more kind of a succession talent search, but you can see this particular different type of talent search. Like there will be different pools. You can attach some tags there. Like instead of leadership, you can attach some IT and all these different tags, and all the people will be shown in this particular pool. If you want to add them, you can add to particular external employee to this pool, or you can delete some employees. You can add internal employees, external employees. You can do all these types of pools. This is not the exact pool, but this is what similar to the recruiting talent pools. So for those we need some search options, right? So these search display options actually we configure some tags, and every time we create the tags to that particular like when this particular employee is creating this particular candidate profile template, he can just select that particular tag, whether he is related to sales or distribution or any particular talent pool. So he will be placed in that pool, and every time when like let's say if a recruiter is just searching for a candidate, he can just go to the talent pool first and search for the candidates who are related to that particular field, and they can directly contact them through a phone or email instead of applying. It's like a kind of uh, different type of approach for recruiting. So search display options are used there. So this is the succession data model mapping, and coming to here, it's nothing but field permissions, like who can write that particular field and who can read that field, and none is nothing but who cannot even see. And role name is candidate. Usually these field permissions are mostly only for candidates. The reason is that it's a candidate profile template, right? And candidate has to entirely fill up this particular his own profile. No one comes instead of candidate, like no recruiter or some other person won't come and fill all his details. So more all these permissions are mostly related to candidate. mm, and different country field is nothing but which country, like if it's there are different types of career candidate profiles for different types of countries. Like US has a different candidate profile, and UK has a different one, and EA has a different one. So this field is to which particular country this field should be shown. So uh, those are, like, let's say if you are asking whether you have H1B visa status for working here or not. So it is only related to that particular field, yes or no, which is only mostly related to US. It's not related to India or some other thing, right? So that would be captured. That field permission will be only given to US, not all the countries. Star is nothing but it's given to all the countries. Okay. Source is nothing but internal or external. Most of the things are internal here except this one, who are having these 19 fields are only shown to the external employees uh, in all the countries for right permissions. Okay, the external candidates of all the countries can write edit these fields, all these fields. Okay, and also edit these background fields, also edit these 5 background fields. Okay, is it clear regarding these background permissions? It's a bit different. Here, both the standard fields and background fields are captured, and writer read permissions are determined, and who will be having the access and for which country. Like the candidate, or if you keep US here, only the US people will be having a right access to this particular external and background field. Sorry, for this particular standard and background fields in the external career portal. If it is an internal, uh, let me take this particular second one as an example. Uh, First one as an example. Candidates have right permissions in all the countries uh, for this particular 14 fields in internal, if they are internal careers. Internal, if you are creating internal career profile, a candidate profile, then they have all these 14 fields access, standard fields, and these 5 background fields right access. Okay, am I clear about these uh, field permissions? Okay, once you configured or made any changes to this particular, yeah, it's a bit confusing because it's the first time you are listening, but you will get used to it once you start working. You will understand how the fields are mapped and what are the different types of fields. Uh, but one particular thing is, while you are working on any particular XML, just compare it with the UI. Compare and see what you are doing with the UI. If you just compare it with the this particular my candidate profile, all these fields which are configured there, you can see it here. Okay, languages, certifications, formal education, previous employment, internal. These are all the background elements, if you remember. These are all the background elements. Okay, and these title, country, phone number, email, and these fields, uh, secondary phone number, address. These are all the standard elements. Okay, and these attachment document attachment 1, attachment 2, all these are standard elements. But first name, last name, all these things you are not able to see because you are already an internal employee, and those fields are already captured in the succession data model. Okay, you cannot edit your first name and last name in the system, right? And this is not the place you can edit. So those fields are not shown here. So those things are configured in the XML in the field definitions. Let me show you here. If you go to the field definitions, I have to decrease this one. Right permissions. Candidate has right permissions to all the countries, and let me invite this one too. And for these are the internal candidates, right? So now which I am seeing here, this is the internal career candidate profile, not the external one. So right axis, what are the fields he has a right axis? If you see here, there is no first name and last name. First name, last name, those basic details are not defined here. Even in the right, there are defined in only read permissions. Okay, the employee can only read here, not write. So all the current title, contact, email, first name, last name, middle name, they're already captured in the succession data model in the system because this candidate is there, is an internal candidate. He cannot edit his current title, email, or first name or last name here. It doesn't make sense. So these are all read-only fields. He cannot edit these fields. If you see the email, he cannot edit the email. But rest of the fields, if you see the country, state, zip code, all these things, these all are editable fields, or they can write all these fields. So all these permissions, how we have to see all these fields are defined here, defined in the field definitions. And you can ask me why there are like a different type of order, like if you see the order is different. All these different types of orders is handled in the XML only. Like in which particular order, if you defined your XML, like let me show you the order here. In that particular order only, the UI will be shown. If you see the field definitions, uh, background element, inside work experience, previous is nothing but outside experience, education, language certifications, and these are talent pools. So this is the same order which you can see. And if you can go to the first name, last name, if you see the first name, middle name, last name, these three are not visible to the employee. These are only read only state. The next one is title, phone number, cell phone number. All these are, if you see here, all these are shown in the order: title, country, phone number, email. And after that, you can see the secondary phone, home phone, country, address, city, state. All these country, address, city, state, these are in the order. Okay, that is how we create the internal and external job site, sorry, career candidate profiles. Any doubts in this particular candidate profile? And once you done all these changes, go into the place where you copied it. Let me show you. Just search for the recruiting, manage the recruiting, and edit candidate profile template. Edit candidate profile template, and here you can just delete all these XML and copy paste the new XML which you changed and save the form. So that is how you do it here. And in the UI, it's like the regular thing. You can just practice in the UI too. These are all the data field background elements. These are the different background elements which we created, and all the mm, standard elements are captured here in the 22 fields defined. And these are the background fields, and this is the field permissions and the succession data model mappings. And this is the candidate search options. Okay. And let me show you how to create a external job portal and how to configure it also. Uh, this is the internal career site, right? Internal career site. Here you can careers is nothing but if you there is a one tab which is called careers, and if you go to the tab, you can see you can internal candidates can search here, search for the jobs, and they can also see all the applications which they applied for, and these are the saved jobs. Like if you came across a position and which is suitable for you, you can save that job. So all those jobs are shown in this particular saved jobs tab. You didn't have anything. Candidate profile is nothing but your own profile, and saved applications is nothing but if you created an application. Uh, all these applications which you saved are shown here. And referral tracking is nothing but if you gave a referral to any external person, like let's say someone, if four of you, someone has referred me to Atos, so that particular referral information will be shown here. You can add a referral, mm, and whether he's uh, selected or not. All these things will be shown in the referral one. So this is the internal careers portal, and if you want to go to the external career portal, and you can entirely configure that particular portal. I'll show you where. Click the manage recruiting sites, search for manage recruiting sites. So go there. This is the place where you can entirely configure the internal career portal also. Like if you see the internal job search, if you want to customize this particular page, how it looks like, if you want to change the this particular picture, or if you want to change the order of these particular fields, or if you want to add more filters depending on the for the search criteria, all these things can be customized here. If you see here, this is the manage recruiting sites. This is the internal career site which I am editing now. So site landing page, you can just entirely write new text or copy some HTML. You can use it using HTML source code or add pictures, links, whatever you want. Okay. And again, I'm coming to the internal career site. And if you want to add, uh, this is the external career site. So this is how the external career site looks like. If you see it here, all these things on the right side. If you want to add some text, some do you, if you want to add your company logo or links to your Facebook company page or some other LinkedIn page, so all these links and everything can be updated here. Footer, job filters. If you want to add some more job filters or all these things, logo, your company logo URL. Here there should be some logo. It's not pulling up this particular logo, but if you want to, there is some requirements. Maybe this might be out of that requirement. But all these things can be captured here. You can just read and understand those things. It's not a too complex configurations or anything involved. So by managing all these things, and this is the URL, and if you make this site active, it would be visible if someone having access to this link, that particular site is will be visible and would be active. And if you want to make, there would be only one default site, and other all will be a micro sites. So this is the place where we maintain, configure or customize different sites. And coming to the one more option, which is nothing but LinkedIn, synchronizing LinkedIn. And if you go to the recruiting here, let me check. I didn't remember the tool name. Job posting. Job board options. No. Just give me a second. I may have it somewhere. I forgot that particular LinkedIn tool name. Just give me a second. Detail. Manage data privacy, duplicate candidates, manage recruiting settings. Recent. Yeah. Uh, yeah, actually, I didn't remember that particular option. Agency access is different one. Yeah, I'll just let you know tomorrow that particular option. It would be just a field mapping only. It's just a UI field mapping. You can see all the fields which are available in the LinkedIn, which you can map. And on the right side, you can see the available fields which are available in the candidate profile or candidate application. So you can just, it's like a drop down, all the drop downs will be there. Same like a UI which we are seeing, we can just map those fields in the there only. Uh, Still I cannot remember. Let me standardize. Yeah, here this is the place. Sorry. If you go to the, let me get. If you go to the recruiting and configure the standardized mapping, this is the first one. Configure the standardized mapping. So there will be a candidate standardization. If you select, there is only one option right now. So these are the left side which you are seeing, which are in the bold letters. All these are fields, data coming from the LinkedIn. So previous work experience, is your present employer. All these are data which are coming from the LinkedIn. So on the right side, which we are mapping, these fields are available. Like let's say previous work experience. I have all these fields available in my background elements. If you remember, all these fields are configured in the background element section in candidate profile template. So I can map these particular field here. So previous work experience is nothing but previous employment. So the previous work experience, which is from LinkedIn, will be mapped to my previous element in the background element in candidate profile template. Do you guys understand here? The drop down fields which you are seeing, these are all the background fields which we configured in the candidate profile template. So on the left side, which we are seeing, those are the fields from LinkedIn integration, the API. Usually, this previous work experience is from the LinkedIn data, and this will be mapped to our previous employment. It doesn't specify that it's specific to LinkedIn, but this mapping is for LinkedIn only. Where does it say? It doesn't say, but usually we have in the recruiting for applying, we have integration with only LinkedIn. We can only apply through LinkedIn. There is no any other site that you can apply. Like you can't apply from any other sites like Google or Facebook. There is no integration available. Only through LinkedIn it is available. No, there is no particular. You can't apply from that particular sites. Let me show you an example. Like regular, there are few companies which are still using they're using the, I think American Airlines has a success factors career site. It doesn't have who uses recruiting, come on. Is the biggest our present client include Atos, CSN. No, Atos doesn't used, but Q Pharma. This particular the Purdue also, I think only few search for opportunities. Oh my god. Okay, it's a Purdue. Yeah, for the technologies, it's not available. It's down. Yeah. Mm, this is also a different side. Oh, road pharmaceutical uses. This one should be a apply. Where is apply? Yeah, this is the success factor side. So this is the success factor side. If you see, this is the production for which company? Plan International. I don't know what company it is, but if I search for a job, so if you select an action, you can apply a job, you can apply using LinkedIn and email a job to a friend. So these are the only three options. You can email to a particular friend, or you can apply using a job. Apply is nothing but you have to enter each and every details. Let me close all these. Mm, Let me close this one too. It's not opening. So this is if you apply, it's asking to create your account. Uh, if you have an account only, you can they're restricted here. If you have an account only, then you can. If you have a candidate profile, a template, then only you can apply the jobs in this particular site. So or else you can also apply through a LinkedIn. Again, it's asking. Let me create an account here. So if you are creating an account, these are the fields you need. Okay. Mm, I think it asks for email confirmation to. Mm, I didn't have this my Gmail address. Password doesn't match. First name Sashi Parag. United States. Create an account. Accept. So I created an account here. So I created a candidate. Enter a security code provided by LinkedIn. I didn't have. Cancel. So this is the my candidate profile. So if you see, this is the external candidate profile that I have to create. It looks very much similar which I shown. The first name, last name, all these things are editable, right? They captured the email from the previous screen. United States, they captured the country from my previous screen. External work history, all these things. So once I fill these, all the candidate profile that will be captured, and if I click next, I can search my jobs. So I can either apply through this candidate profile which I created or through a LinkedIn profile. So is it clear? Okay, there is no any other integration other than LinkedIn. So this is the place where we integrate all the standard fields and background fields with the LinkedIn, and these all data will be flowed through the LinkedIn and mapped to. If you see the here, not if some particular field is not available, let's say, are you a present student or not? If this particular field is not mapped, then you won't get the data from the LinkedIn. That's it. There's no not a big deal. Start date and date. If you didn't capture, if you don't want those all information, if you just didn't map those fields, that's it. Here some fields are already not mapped. If you see supervisor name, manager phone number. Usually, if you don't require to map all those fields, just leave them. Success factors won't capture all the data from the LinkedIn. That is how. So this is the candidate profile, and once you created the candidate profile, you can just apply for the jobs. Do you want me to show this, or you guys will try it on your own? Tomorrow, okay. That's all then. See you tomorrow.